I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. In today's artist vlog, I'm going to answer a question I get asked all the time: why I bother painting oil over acrylic. This is actually a pretty short and easy answer. I get to take advantage of the best of both mediums. When I started painting, I was only working in acrylics, and I got really comfortable with them, but then decided that I wanted to give oils a try around the year 2000. After doing a few paintings with them, I realized there were certain things that I really loved about them, but there were certain things I hated about them. Primarily, they just take so long to dry. Even when I use a fast drying mixing medium, it's still a day between layers of dry time. Whereas with acrylic, I can sit and obsess over it nonstop for as long as I want and just keep painting and painting and painting. So I was talking to artist Jaime Jimenez one day, and he was telling me about an artist that he knew, that he really respected, who would paint everything in full detail in acrylic and then paint right on top of it in oil. And I thought that would pretty much solve my complaints with the oil painting. So what happens is I'm able to paint everything in acrylic, and I don't have to worry about certain things. Like, I don't have to worry about my clouds blending perfectly if I know I'm going to go over those in oil. Or if I'm working on an animal, I don't have to worry about certain areas, like if the feathers are a little too harsh or there's too much contrast, I don't have to worry about making sure that I get that done right in acrylic, because I'm just going to go over it in oil, and it's so much easier to soften those details down in oil. But with acrylic, because it does dry so fast, it's just so easy to put several layers, get all that fine detail done very very quickly. So in doing this, saving tons and tons of time. Plus, the more layers you do in a painting, the more depth you build up. Even though the bottom layers, they're very subtle. You're not really seeing those so much in the final layers. Just that subtlety, it does add up and build depth in your piece. When you're doing a lot of glazes, the way that the light reflects through everything, in short, it just looks better. And you're not going to notice it so much when you see the photo online as you do when you look at the painting in person, and you're really seeing and experiencing the way that the light shines through these layers. But take my word for it, it looks amazing. So to just kind of show you an example of what happens when I paint this way, we'll take a look at this giraffe painting that I did a few months back, looking at the acrylic underpainting next to the finished oil painting. With the acrylic underpainting, when I painted the clouds, I just blocked in approximately where I wanted the blues versus the oranges and yellows and whites. They're just very loosely put in. Now, I can technically finish this all in acrylic and have it look just like the oil painting. It's just that it's a little bit harder to do, and it's going to take more work on my part. So knowing I was going to go over that in oil, I just very loosely put it in. Anyone who's worked in both mediums knows how much easier it is to paint clouds in oil than it is in acrylic. Looking at the giraffe, I overdid, intentionally knowing I was going to go over this in oil, I overdid the texture on the fur on the neck. You don't want fluffy neck fur on the giraffe, or you're going to make them look like wire hair. Detail is great if it's the right kind of detail. Throwing in detail for the sake of detail is not what you want to do. Just side tip there. In this case, knowing I was going to go over this in oil, the oil would cover most of it, but it would be so subtle where those little white flecks would just barely show through, giving me just the smallest amount of texture, which is what I was looking for. When I work in acrylic, I'm not worried too much about color being exact, because I know I can correct that easily with oil when I do my final layers. Now, is this a method that's right for you? It depends. It's not that doing it this way is going to be better than doing just oil or just acrylic, because you can paint an acrylic painting and have it look just like an oil painting, or the other way around. It's just a matter of simplifying my life, because I know I can get certain things done easier and faster in acrylic, and then certain effects I like the look of better with oil. If you are going to give this a try, I do recommend get fairly comfortable with each medium before you try combining them, because if you don't understand what you can do easily in acrylic and what you can't do easily in acrylic, and the other way around, you're not going to know which medium to take advantage of. Like, if I didn't know how much easier it was to do clouds in oil than in acrylic, I may waste several hours trying to perfect those clouds in acrylic versus just getting them loosely blocked in and planning on getting those done in oil later. So just having a general understanding of each medium is going to make combining them a lot easier. Next, oil can go on top of acrylic. Acrylic cannot go on top of oil. Don't get that backwards. First off, there's no real reason or real benefit. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to put acrylic over oil, because the whole point for me is that the oil blends softly, and that's kind of a final stage for me. But acrylic being water-based is not going to stick long-term to the oil paint. It'll scrape off with your finger. It's just, you want your work to last, you don't want to do that. For your acrylic, I like using Liquitex Basics. It has a very flat finish, and so the oil sticks to it very well. The tooth of the canvas is still there, so the oil can really stick, which means my work is going to be archival. I would not recommend using a heavy-bodied glossy acrylic paint like the Liquitex Heavy Body. That would not be an ideal choice for this, because it thins out or smooths out the tooth of the canvas completely, and then the oil has nothing to really stick to. So your work is not going to be as archival. The oil can end up flaking off of that. not a good thing. So you don't want heavy paint that causes you to lose all of your canvas tooth. And if you don't know what tooth is, it's just the texture of the canvas. It just gives the oil something to grip to. Taking a look at another piece that I've done oil over acrylic. This one I did a few months ago as a promotional poster for author Tim Mettey's Hero Chronicles books. You can see the acrylic underpainting versus the finished painting with oil over it. There's not a giant difference in this case. Most of what I did was done in acrylic. I just put the oil on top to soften out my clouds, to soften out the buildings and kind of push them back a little bit more, and to hype up the color of the flames. It just built a little bit more depth in this piece, which was important for me because this is such a simple painting and doesn't have a whole lot going on. So having the depth that way, this was just an easy way for me to achieve that. Plus, being that I did an acrylic underpainting and didn't go in straight with oil, it let me use the airbrush in my acrylic painting too. So for my rays of light, the stencil that I used here for the flames especially, because I definitely prefer painting flames with the airbrush over any other method, I was able to combine the best of both worlds again here. Again, not a huge difference between the oil over acrylic versus just the acrylic underpainting, but it's just that little bit better, which is the look I was going for. And this brings us right into the giveaway. As a thank you for painting this promotional poster, Tim Mettey has offered to give you guys several free books from his Hero Chronicles. He's giving away a few copies of the first and second book, as well as some audiobooks from the first in the series. If you've not read these and want to catch up, you can get the first and second book, the digital copies of these, for free from Amazon. I will put the link below in the video description, so definitely recommend checking that out. These are books that I personally just really enjoyed. I started talking to the author of these after I had read the books. I started following him on Facebook, and that's how we got talking through this, but it all started because I really enjoyed these books. So I do honestly, personally recommend checking those out. All of this is in preparation for his third book, which is released October 10th, which I'm really excited about. So to enter to win one of these books or audiobooks, head over to my Facebook page, and this video, which will be posted over there, just leave a comment and you're entered. All the rules for the giveaway are posted on that post as well. I'll be choosing the winners on October 25th using random.org. As usual. If you're new to my channel, I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings or drawings, my own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday, and vlogs each weekend. And starting this month, I will have social media tips for artists on Thursdays. So make sure you subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, all those social media sites. Links are below in the video description. You can keep up with news, my newest work, and see real-time clips of whatever it is I am currently working on. I'll see you guys Tuesday, or on one of the social media sites in the meantime. Bye! Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments below or give me a thumbs up. Also, let me know if you read any of the Hero Chronicles books. I'd love to hear what you thought about them. And if you personally like to work in mixed media, which mediums do you like to combine? See you guys Tuesday.